Ladies and gentlemen, on behalf of the 81st Support Group, welcome to our change of command ceremony. Please stand for the arrival of the official party and remain standing for the playing of honors and the singing of our national anthem, followed by the invocation.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say, does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Let us pray. We praise you, Lord, for the glory of a new day, for balmy weather. We praise you for this special day and contributions of Colonel Richard Taylor and his wife, Mary. We thank you for their talents, their commitment and dedication in making the support group strong and responsive to the needs and the concerns of the community, for their extra efforts in the thrift shop and out in the community. We pray that you would continue to go with them as they travel to the East Coast and then off to Mexico. We offer our prayers of welcome for Colonel Brookhart and his wife Linda as they join Team Keesler. May they be warmly received, inspired to lead and serve, renewed with energy, creativity, and imagination. In your holy name we offer our prayer and give thanks. Amen.
Please be seated. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the 81st Support Group Change of Command ceremony. Today, the men and women of the 81st Support Group say farewell to Colonel Richard W. Taylor as he moves on to Washington, D.C. on his way to become the Air Attaché to Mexico. We also welcome Colonel Warren J. Brookhart, who assumes command of the 81st Support Group. The officiating officer for today's ceremony is Brigadier General Ann Harrell, Commander, 81st Training Wing. Before we begin our ceremony, we would like to introduce some special guests and distinguished members of Team Keesler who have joined us today. Former Commander of Keesler Technical Training Center, Lieutenant General Brian Schatz, United States Air Force, retired. Executive Director, Biloxi Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Harry Joachim. Chairman, Military Affairs Committee, Biloxi Chamber of Commerce, Mr. Pete Wilson. Spouse of Commander, 2nd Air Force, Major General Andy Pellick, Miss Arlene Pellick. Commander, 403rd Wing, Brigadier General Randy Webster and his wife Martha. Spouse of Commander, 81st Medical Group, Brigadier General Dan Locker, Miss Cynthia Locker. Vice Commander, 2nd Air Force, Colonel David Oles. Vice Commander, 81st Training Wing, Colonel Mike Bartlett and his wife Debbie. Spouse of Chief of Operations, 2nd Air Force, Colonel Al Walmsley, Miss Molly Walmsley. Commander, 81st Training Group, Colonel Robbie Bryant and his wife Debbie. Commander, 81st Logistics Group, Colonel Les Callahan. Deputy Commander, 81st Medical Group, Colonel Dave Boggs and his wife Sharita. Command Chief Master Sergeant, 2nd Air Force, Chief Master Sergeant Joseph Mast. And Command Chief Master Sergeant, 81st Training Wing, Chief Master Sergeant Mike McCann. Also in our audience are friends and family of Colonel Taylor and Colonel Brookhart, as well as several other commanders, first sergeants, and chief master sergeants. We appreciate your presence and camaraderie on this special occasion. Thank you for being with us today. At this time, General Harrell will present Colonel Taylor with the Legion of Merit. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Legion of Merit to Richard W. Taylor. Colonel Richard W. Taylor distinguished himself by exceptionally meritorious conduct in the performance of outstanding services to the United States Air Force as Commander, 81st Support Group, 81st Training Wing, Keesler Air Force Base, Mississippi, from 3 May 1998 to 16 March 2000. In this important assignment under Colonel Taylor's leadership, the 1,750 men and women of the 81st Support Group led the way in Air Education and Training Command with scores of awards, including Best Large Civil Engineer and Mission Support Squadrons in the command, Outstanding Civilian Personnel Flight in the command, in the Air Force, and for the first time in 18 years, the group won the Air Force Outstanding Unit Award. Colonel Taylor provided tenacious oversight to one of the largest construction programs in the Air Force. He drove huge progress on Triangle Vision, a $123 million program to replace 10 antiquated student dormitories with 7 new ones. 7 permanent party dorms were renovated, 50 new transient lodging facilities were built, and 98 brand new family houses were completed. Colonel Taylor's leadership was put to test when Hurricane George hit the base with sustained winds of 130 miles per hour, causing $21 million in damage, with 300 trees down, 940 homes damaged, and 77 families displaced. He set up a recovery center which provided one-stop assistance from 14 base agencies to 2,100 people impacted by the storm. Colonel Taylor led his group to an excellent rating from the Air Education and Training Command Inspector General, with 3 squadrons rated excellent and 1 outstanding. They earned a record 67 commendable findings and 8 best practices. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Colonel Taylor reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. The ceremony you're about to witness is deeply rooted in military tradition and dates back to the time of Frederick the Great of Prussia. During that period, military organizations developed flags bearing specialized colors and designs unique to them. When soldiers followed their leaders into battle, they kept sight of these flags. If a banner still waved after the conflict, it was a sign that their side was victorious on the battlefield. Because of its symbolic importance, the flag was incorporated into the ancient change of command ceremony. The organizational banner was exchanged in public for all to witness the naming of the new sovereign leader of any army. The modern ceremony is simple and direct, yet continues to announce to all the authority of the incoming commander in the finest of military traditions. Please be seated. Brigadier General Harrell will officiate the ceremony as the command of the 81st Support Group is formally passed from Colonel Richard W. Taylor to Colonel Warren J. Brookhart. Under the provisions of Air Force Instruction 51-604, Special Order Number GB-117, dated 18 February 2000, Colonel Richard W. Taylor relinquishes command of the 81st Support Group. And Colonel Warren J. Brookhart assumes command by order of Brigadier General Ann Harrell. Ladies and gentlemen, Brigadier General Harrell.
break. It didn't make any noise when I pulled on the microphone. It was great. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome, and thank you all for joining us this morning for what is truly an important event in the life of any organization, but especially when we have a change of command for a support group. And we're happy that you all can be with us today. And these two gentlemen up here, I know, join me in thanking you for taking time out for what is really a very momentous occasion. Support Group Command is probably the toughest job in the Air Force. It has the widest range of responsibilities, from protecting our folks on and off duty to providing meals to giving them orders to go TDY, finally come home from TDY, from taking care of their families and from taking care of the huge facilities that we're entrusted with. The job never stops. It goes on 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. Students and instructors can complete their course of study and go home at the end of the day or go home for a long weekend, but we still have cops who patrol, we still have people who provide midnight meals, we still have people who work in our communications center so our telephones will work and our messages will be delivered. And probably the toughest part of the job is that, unlike other areas within the Air Force, when you're the support group commander, everybody else always knows how to do your job better than you do. And they are always willing to share that knowledge with you. I had an opportunity earlier in my career to be the logistics group commander at one of our largest fighter wings, Luke Air Force Base. We had about 120 aircraft, we had 12 flying squadrons, just a tremendously large responsibility. And in all the months that I was a logistics group commander, no one ever came to me and said, Ann, let me tell you how you can load weapons better. Let me tell you how you can launch and recover more efficiently. Let me tell you how to do your job. One Friday, I stopped being the logistics group commander and I started being the support group commander. And by Wednesday of the next week, just about everybody across the base had an idea of how to do my job better than I did. So I have to tell you, these two gentlemen up here today bear not only the responsibility of doing the job correctly, but of handling all that extra advice that we are so happy to give them on a regular basis. And now those of you out there, Randy, you know what I'm talking about, because we get that stuff from you. So we really appreciate all the help we get. Target of opportunity. The support group here at Keesler is probably one of the toughest support group jobs in the entire Air Force because it's one of the largest. We have over 1,700 people in the group. We have over 350 facilities that we have to maintain on the base, most of them old. We have 1,700 lodging rooms, one of the largest lodging operations in the United States Air Force, probably the United States military. We have 10 permanent party dorms, aging more every year. We're going to have 7 large, very large student dorms. We have 5 dining facilities, 3 fitness centers, and 1,800 military family housing units. It is a gigantic scope of responsibility. We have currently over $160 million in construction going on this one very small base. The support group commander is responsible for all of that. The mission doesn't really care how things get done. People that do the mission, that teach, that fly, that fight, that move things all over the world, they don't care how the mission gets done. They just want it to get done. They want people to be trained. They want food to be ready. They want billets to be ready. They want transportation to be there. They want cool air or hot air or toilets that work, and they don't care how it gets done. But the way it gets done is by people like these two gentlemen over here making it happen from the top all the way down to the newest airmen we have in operation. Today I have the honor to say goodbye and hello to 2 real professionals in this field. We say goodbye to Rick and Mary as they head off to Washington, D.C. for a year and then on to Mexico City, where I know many of us will be waiting for an invitation to come to visit them. Great shopping, I understand. Rick, in looking at his record preparing for today, has been at the top of his class in everything he's done in the Air Force. From undergraduate navigator training, through weather training. In every course he's been in, he's graduated at the top of the class. He's been at the very front of the pack. He and Mary served at every level. They've been at base level. They've been remote to Korea. They've been through major commands. They've been on the air staff. You name it, they've been there. They have a long history at Keesler. I think most of you know that they were the commander of the 334th Squadron when they were here on an earlier tour, and then on to be the deputy commander of the support group, which is probably, Colonel Trebo, the toughest job, because you don't get any of the credit and you get all the dirt. But you get to be commander of troops. So there's a little silver lining here. During this tour as support group commander, Rick and Mary have had a lot of challenges. You've heard about them in the citation we just read. Probably the biggest challenge was Hurricane George. Because of Rick's experience here, he helped the base prepare for the hurricane, so damage was not as extensive as it could have been. But he was responsible for sheltering over 7,000 people. There was no power at the end of the hurricane, and he was intimately responsible for trying to get power set up in a short period of time. But most importantly, I think, he and Mary were responsible for helping people get back on their feet. Get some money, get some food, get a safe, dry place to be, and get on with their lives. They went on to the ORI with 2 areas rated outstanding and everything else rated excellent. When Y2K was upon us, the civilian part of the nation looked at the military for how to do Y2K. The military looked at the Air Force, and the Air Force looked at Keesler. And through Rick's guidance, we were so ready for Y2K that it was merely a hiccup, and in several years, no one will ever remember it, I hope. Major Lipsey, we hope that's it. Lieutenant Colonel Select Lipsey. Rick managed the largest construction program in the Air Force. As we said, over $200 million in military construction during his time here. And in a real world sense, 4 days after I took command, we had a disturbed young man approach the gate and threaten to blow up the base if we didn't help him with mental health from our hospital. Rick was the on-scene commander and managed to have it end on a safe note. The gentleman got the help that he needed. The base was safe and all of its inhabitants. About 3 weeks ago, maybe a month ago now, we had a young family lose their entire house to a fire. Rick was out there on the scene, coordinating efforts, and really has been the on-scene guy in charge for many, many years here at Keesler. He's been supported in that by Mary, who's been a very active participant in our community, and Mary on a personal basis, thank you so much for that. Sometimes you get a team when you hire someone, and sometimes you don't. And we're lucky with Rick and Mary because we got that team. Mary's been very active in the spouse organizations on base. She's devoted a lot of her personal time to fundraising for scholarships and other money to go towards people here on the base. She's worked on the newsletter. She's worked in the thrift shop. She's volunteered at Family Services. She's been all over the base in a very quiet, supportive role. And Mary, on behalf of all of us, thank you for that. We wish both of you good luck, Godspeed. You're going to have a great time. We know you're going to miss us. We know you're going to miss the no-see-ums. So we'll bottle some up and send them to Mexico. You guys have done a great job, and thank you both. Now, obviously, I don't know Warren and Linda as well as I know Rick and Mary, but I'm going to get to know them because they're going to be my next-door neighbors. And Warren, has Rick told you about, I'm single and I have a lot of, hardware problems in the house, and so you have to do, dead bug removal and things like that? Okay. If you ever riding lawnmower, just ride it over to my house, but save me a lot of money. We're very, very happy to have Warren and Linda join us because they are a perfect fit for this base and for this job. They also have a very long and strong history throughout the Air Force. They also have served at every level, from base level to remote in Alaska, up through MAGCOM. They even had an education with industry tour where Warren worked with Marriott in Arlington, Virginia, and so he knows about lodging and about billeting, and we need that. We have lots of that to go around, so we're happy to have that experience. Warren has been a commander 5 times. This will be his 6th command, as this was Rick Taylor's 6th command, so lots and lots of history of dealing with customers and people and helping the mission get done. Most recently, Warren and Linda were at Tyndall as the Deputy Support Group Commander, so he knows about all that silver lining that he gets there. They also had a large group, over 1,700 people. More facilities than us, 1,700 facilities, 29,000-acre reservation to take care of. So they are well-versed in what it takes to run a base and to be the mayor of an organization that's really active 7 days a week. We get a team with Warren and Linda, as we did with Rick and Mary and Linda. We're very, very happy to have you with us and look forward to working with you in the community. So we're sorry to see Rick and Mary leave. We're very happy to have Warren and Linda join us. The military is kind of bittersweet. Just when you get to be very good friends with folks, they move on, but it gives you an opportunity to make new friends. And we're very happy to have you join us. So on behalf of the entire Keesler community and the surrounding community, Warren and Linda, welcome. And now, ladies and gentlemen, I have the pleasure to tell you this is the last speech you'll ever have to hear Rick Taylor give.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Taylor. Before Colonel Taylor speaks, the men and women of the 81st Support Group have a small presentation for Ms. Taylor.
I've heard the adage 1,000 times that time flies when you're having fun, but when you get over 40, time just flies. And that has been that is exactly what's happened at Keesler Air Force Base. It's unbelievable to me that the 2 years have gone by already. And a testament to what's gone on in the support group is the fact that less than 2 years ago, just 23 months ago, we were standing on a parade field over in the Triangle that no longer exists. And it's now occupied by a 3-story dormitory that in itself is getting ready to be occupied. So a whole lot has gone on in the support group. General Harold made several remarks and talked about a lot of the stuff that's gone on. But it's a testament to the incredible work that the men and women of the support group have put in over the past 2 years, and I know will continue to put in under the new commander. As I look back on my time here, I really only have one regret, and that's that I probably spent too much time focusing on the negative. For every airman who calls the commander's action line and wants to tell me that there's no garbanzo beans on the salad bar, or every person that takes a cold shower in lodging, which I did this morning, and Charlie, so did Colonel Brookhart. For every commander who's upset because their air handler is shut down and training is getting ready to stop, for every one of those complaints, and I'll tell you folks, General Harrell hit it spot on. There's 100 of them every day, and you get lots of advice, and that just goes with the business, and that's a fact. But for every one of those, there are 1,000 people that are just fine and dandy and happy, and 1,000 people who aren't complaining. And I think we need to focus more on those 1,000 people, because 1 out of 1,000 is a 99.9% success rate, and I call that an A. Now, it's not an A plus, but it's certainly an A. Okay, and the men and women of the support group have turned in an A performance for Keesler Air Force Base, so my hat's off to you. Warren, and I know that you're going to get the same kind of support from them that I have gotten from them. On the high side, I'll look back on this tour as one of the best times of my life, and also for my wife, Mary. It has been my absolute great honor to be able to support this mission, and I truly believe, and you've heard me say this before, that tech training is a national treasure. I believe the instructor force is a national treasure. If you go out to the ramp at Atlanta Airport today and you find somebody who's doing avionics maintenance, there's a good probability that individual started at Keesler Air Force Base in electronic principles. There's a good probability that he finished up his training at Dolan Hall. If you go to a tower at Wichita, Kansas, and you ask the tower controller where they started, there's a very, very good chance that that person started their training in air traffic control at Cody Hall. And for all of the 70 specialties that we teach at Keesler Air Force Base, and all of the 500 courses, there's a story just like that. So not only is Keesler Air Force Base making the combat power of the world's best armed forces better, it's making America better. 1.4 million graduates have gone through this school, and that has made America better. It's been my great honor to have a chance to support that very, very important mission, and we're going to miss it. Now, Warren, I'll tell you the same thing I tell my commanders as I pass the flag to them when they take command. That's that you could never show up for work at Keesler Air Force Base, and this group would continue on just fine without you, and it would continue doing outstanding support. But given that General Harrell probably wants you to show up for work, you're probably going to be here guiding them and mentoring them and leading them in an outstanding manner. And I can't think of a better couple to take over this group from the Taylors. So thanks very much, everybody, for all that you have done for us. I honestly appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, Colonel Brookhart.
General Schatz, General Webster, General Harrell, fellow group commanders, squadron commanders, distinguished guests and friends, men and women of the 81st Support Group, and to all of Team TIMU. Thank you for all coming to a new beginning, an adventure for Linda and I. Before I begin, I would like to take a moment to make a special presentation. Linda, please accept these flowers on my behalf as just a small token of thank you for all the years, all those deployments, those weekends, the nights, the times I've been gone. When you were holding down the front while I had gone to a noon assignment, packing up the house and unloading it while I was being deployed. I cannot thank you enough for your love, your support, and being my best friend. Lynn and I are honored and proud to have been selected by General Harrell to command such an outstanding support group with such a history and heritage. Rick and Mary, thank you for all your assistance and help in making our transition so smooth and easy. Also, thank you for leading The support group in such a great shape. You got it. I know Lynn and I, that will make our job much easier. To this command support group section, we cannot thank you enough for everything you have done to make our move to this wonderful event and this event today to come together. To the men and women of the support group, thank you for everything you do daily to make Keesler a better place to work and live. This is no easy task and can only be done by highly motivated and dedicated professionals, which you all are, and which you give that extra effort 24/7. All the tremendous successes stories that you've heard today, I hope to continue and achieve more. I want to continue them, and I want to expand on into the future. Working together as a team, I know we can achieve a task, any task or challenge we are given or faced with. Remember that we are the Maslow of hierarchy need group, and we make things happen. Through teamwork, folks, dedication, and having fun, and yes, I mean having fun, we will and we can get anything done. Again, thank you all for coming, and we look forward to meeting and working with each and every one of you. Now, it is time to adjourn and enjoy some fellowship, refreshment, and fun. Thank you very much.
Thank you.